What's up? This is Zeals. I'm back with another video. It's been over a week since Valkyrie has been released, and if you haven't checked out my initial reviews, make sure you check it out. Before I begin ranking the forest heroes in the current PvP meta, I want to stress the point that this is not a new player versus old player or free-to-play versus pay-to-win tier list. It's one consolidated tier list like the ones you have seen on Reddit that ranks the best to the worst. I'm going to always rank heroes with the safest and the most consistent results in the PvP meta. Alright, my patrons already know who is first because of the recent patron-only exclusive podcast. With no contest or surprise, the first place belongs to Valkyrie. Valk is currently the only hero that does more damage the more defensive stats she stacks. That is her key trait and appeal. Her main source of damage and EHP, efficient health pool, comes from her defensive stat plus HP and plus percent HP stats. The way it works is that her damage, which is mostly from her dots, scales off her max HP, which means the total HP she has in combat. Higher her max HP, the more dot damage she does. The more HP, the longer she can survive, and the more E3 passive healing she receives at the end of the round. So if she has around 6.7 million HP, her basic attack can do 400,000 to 3 targets per round in dot damage. That is 1.2 million dot damage over 3 rounds based off one basic attack, excluding her actual basic attack damage. Not a lot of heroes can do that kind of damage with a basic. Also, if a CC lands successfully on her, she releases dot stacks to 3 random targets and also heals for 200% of her attack stat in combat. We will talk about her healing capabilities in a bit. She's one of the only heroes that can dish damage while being CC locked. It's not a lot of damage, but it's better than nothing. Her active is of course strong, but she will be doing damage whether silenced, CC locked, or freely doing actives. Her dot damage at this time doesn't scale with weakened debuffs from Cruise or Heart Watcher, but even so the damage is good pressure. I see it as a balance neutralizer against the E3 passive heal or even Belrain's healing presence, which are Valk's key roles. As for defensives, her HP pool is insane, guys. You've probably seen photos or pictures of her character sheet stat of only 4 million HP, but as you can see here from the example, the 230,000 HP stat from monster like Deer can add over 1.4 million HP, and there are auras as well. So depending on auras, she can reach upper 6 million in combat. The plus HP stat on her HP stone is huge. As you saw, it's getting multiplied by 3 guild techs, armor bonuses, 2 of them, passive 35% HP boost, HP stone, then artifact, then aura. It's a massive bonus. With her HP, she can survive some nasty bursts, but even with this colossal health, she is susceptible to one-shot burst. The biggest disadvantage of Forest faction is being prone to Abyss burst, Scary, and to the lesser extent Karim. With her high HP pool, the bulk of her healing will come from her E3 passive. She can heal for 1 million at the end of the round when she's very low, which means she will be able to sustain through pressures like Mim. The longer she's alive, the better, of course. To wrap it up, she's a nice fit in the meta where she's the only hero where she doesn't need to choose between offensive or defensive stats. For example, Faithblade needs to sacrifice all his survivability into maximizing burst, while Valk can stack survival stats and also do damage by doing so. While she doesn't necessarily benefit from being CC'd as her basing and actives do more damage, she's a hero that still adds pressure while under CC. Her dot is a nice pressure to negate the unknowing E3 meta heals and tanky heroes as her dot bypasses armor. Next up, the old queen of the Forest faction, Demon Hunter. Don't get me wrong, she's a very good hero still. DH's CC is the weakest form of CC. Currently, CC doesn't come without costs. When enemy heroes come out of CC and retaliate with the added skill damage from being hit while under CC, heroes such as Asmodel, Armorvore, any hero with burst can do some serious wipeage to your team. While silenced, opponents can still do basic attacks, which ramps up even more skill damage for when they come out of CC. This causes a domino effect. Like if you run Belrain, for example, her amazing dot or heal over time from her basics can be rendered useless, as enemies heroes with burst that comes out of CC can one-shot some of the majority of your teamates, making all those healing that she put on your teammates useless. Also, it's not just Belrain succumbing to over CC, but also E3 heal passive not kicking in, or any heal for that matter. In order for heals from Cruz, Deer, Belrain, Michelle, E3 passives to even matter, is for your heroes to survive that round and not suffer from overburst. DH also needs other CC heroes to back her up in the higher tier of PvP. This is because her speed is being surpassed. She's slower than very prominent and powerful CCers like Dark Arthendo, Michelle, Valentino, even Kameth, since there's no room to run DH in the front line. So in order for her to get off her active in round 1 at E3 meta, she needs the heroes I just listed to carry her on their backs so she can squeeze out her active. So why even bring her in the first place and not just add heroes I mentioned, or duplicates, unless of course you are still early game and DH is all you can muster. And this goes back to my first point. If you're bringing DH to compete or complete on aura like Rainbow, you are over CCing. Also, Valkyrie gets so much more benefit from an aura. Lastly, DH's HP is rather too low and outdated. Newer heroes always come with decent sized health pool. DH even at E3 with Speedstone is too squishy. If Valk has a chance of being one-shot at round 2 by Scary active, and it actually happens guys, then DH has less chance to survive. Again, all about consistency in this tier list. To wrap it up, while her CC hits all targets and has a high probability, the actual form of CC itself is quite lackluster. In 10-star, where round 1 and 2 CC lockdown was mostly all you needed to win fights, now with the prolonged fights, opponents can break off the CC chain and retaliate with that built-up skill damage. Also, being squishy fuels snowball effects for your opponents like enemy Mim, Faithblade, etc. Lastly, her speed is starting to be a real crutch as she can't get an active off for decent teams, as she's outsped by prominent CCers that are not only tankier but pose a bigger threat than DH. So it's counterintuitive at this point to bring a DH for CC alone, because she can't do her job without bringing faster CCers to do so. I've often met teams with an E3 DH who was their fastest source of CC in their E3 lineup, and their DH ended up doing 0 damage repeatedly over multiple fights. Up next is Vesa. Remember, this is based off consistency and from hundreds of fights at E3 and after much rethinking and observation. This week, in Free Team Up Arena FTA, I'm running with the Japanese player who has mostly full E3 lineup, Rainbow Aura with Vesa. He's holding up alright, but against the newer light and dark heroes like Faithblade and Armorvore to a less extent, and more to the extent of Mim, Scary, Belrain setups, he's having a lot of hard time sustaining. She's not bad to build into E3, but she does have a lower win rate compared to Valk and DH, which is due to her being slow and susceptible to CC. Her team heal is based off her active, which is hard to get off, but when she does, it does deal decent amount of damage against 4 enemy targets and heals your team. That's the key. When she does her active, you'll feel great and she can swing the battle, but when she faces harder and harder opponents as you go from early to mid to late game, it gets more difficult to get that wonderful active off. Since her team heal is tied to her active, Belrain does have more healing chances and power and provides greater support under silence and in death as well compared to Vesa. Do not look at fight results and only see Vesa's heal as her healing her teammates. Consider that a big portion of it is from self-heal through her basic attack and E3 passive. As for Rosa and Heartwatcher, they are both great support heroes, but Rosa has been rather quickly replaced in the meta by Cruz and Heartwatcher as well to a lesser extent. Simply put, Cruz provides more utility, which I'll cover in a Cruz only video I kept mentioning about. Pinky promises, guys. Of course, for the PvE, for PvE, Rosa, Emily, Cruz, Belrain, Scary combo does do wonders for towers if you don't have an E3 Mim. And Heartwatcher is a must for most aspects of PvE as well. We do have 2 new patrons today, Kira and Steven. Also, I did get approved to the YouTube partnership program, which is awesome, and you guys made it happen. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our 700 member Discord with the links in the description box below. For exclusive content, join the club on Patreon, and if you want to support me, leave a tip in the tip jar to donate any amount you feel is equal to the value of the information, and I will see you guys soon.